The next foundation strategy is to improve and manage your important relationships. Today we are filming in front of this amazing street art here in Christchurch again. Now when I say important relationships, I primarily mean the one you have with your partner, like these two behind me. But this could also include parents, siblings, children, wider family members, or even perhaps a really close friend. Important relationships are the ones that are very significant and important to you and have the biggest impact on your mood and quality of life. This topic is complex and extensive, and a whole program could be dedicated to this topic of important relationships. But what I'm giving you here is a useful potted version of strategies that can help improve important relationships in your life. The quality of our close relationships has a strong influence on our mood. I think most of us can relate to experiencing low mood and distress when in conflict with our nearest and dearest. Relationships need feeding, and certain things can help them to grow and flourish, while other things can harm and damage them. Also, neglecting relationships can tend to erode both their quality and their strength. The mantra that quality is more important than quantity is true when considering how important relationships affect depression. University of Michigan researchers in a new study concluded that after analysing data from 5,000 adults, that the quality of a person's relationships with a partner, family or friends predicted the likelihood of major depression in the future, regardless of how frequently their social interactions took place. Individuals with strained and unsupportive partners were significantly more likely to develop depression, whereas those without a partner were at no increased risk. And those with the lowest quality relationships had more than double the risk of getting depression than those who had the best relationships. It is reasonable to conclude that positive relationships have a positive effect on our mood, while negative relationships tend to have a negative effect on our mood. Two of the main things that are needed to improve the quality of important relationships is managing conflict and strengthening relationships. Close relationships tend to be in a constant state of change and some degree of stress and conflict. This is to be expected when you consider that two individuals with different DNA sets, different backgrounds, different stages of maturity are living together. There are bound to be significant differences, and with the differences, potential conflict. A person's ability to manage difference, disagreements and conflict is going to have a big impact on the quality of their relationships. All relationships have conflict. However, you can minimize the damage to the relationship and impact on your mood by managing conflict well. When in conflict, the first strategy is to pause, step back from the situation, take some time to manage your feelings, cool down, process what's happening or what has been said, and get perspective. Perhaps get another opinion on the issue and consider the situation from the other person's point of view. Next strategy is to consider and choose your approach to conflict. When communicating in conflict, first ask yourself this question: how can I respond in a way that is going to make me feel okay about myself? Often conflict is painful and hard enough without the added guilt you might feel from treating your partner badly. If you approach conflict like this, you are less likely to hurt and damage the other person in the relationship, and more likely to feel in control and less likely to feel bad about yourself after the conflict. The next strategy is to look for common ground. See what you can agree on and start from there. For example, say you and your partner needed a new car and were having an argument about what type of car to buy. You could start by agreeing that you both need a new car. You might also agree on how much you have to spend. You might also agree on the colour. Now the next strategy is to accept a degree of disagreement, compromise and be able to move on. Choose to agree to disagree and accept a compromise. This means while you disagree on the issue, you do agree to accept the difference and to move on with a compromise that is bearable for both sides. Back to the car example, it might be that one party makes a compromise with the year and mileage that they wanted, while the other party makes a compromise on the type they wanted, which may result in an acceptable compromise. It's important to have reasonable expectations of yourself and your partner in relationship. It is very likely that you and your partner will at times say things that will hurt each other and harm the relationship. When people are on the receiving end of this, they tend to react in two possible ways. Firstly, they try to harm the other person back, or secondly, they shut down and bottle up their feelings. Check out this video of a couple attacking each other.
Where have you been?
I've been at Watermoo's house.
Bullshit. I've been texting you all night and you haven't replied.
Well, I didn't really check my phone, but I was there. I was.
You are never home. I'm so sick of it. I'm always here on my own.
Yeah, but I was just down there. I was just with him having a drink. That's
You're
all.
such a dick.
I was just after work. It's nothing.
Why don't you just piss off back to his house then?
Well, maybe I will.
It's important to try not to either be a doormat and passive or aggressive and controlling, as both these approaches can damage a relationship. The next strategy is to respond and to communicate in a safe and proactive way when you feel hurt by the other person. When you feel hurt or offended, consider this three-step process. When you feel calm and in control, you could say to the person, when you describe their behaviour, I feel how their behaviour affected you, and I would like what change you would like to see. Check this video of how you might use this three-step process when you, I feel, and I would like.
What a day.
How are you?
Pretty tired.
Yeah? Whereabouts have you been?
I've just been at Watermoo's house.
Ah.
Yeah.
I've been texting you.
Yeah, well, I didn't have my, I didn't check my phone.
Oh, okay. I just really worry when I don't hear from you. Do you think maybe next time you could let me know where you are, just so I don't worry?
Yeah, that sounds good. No worries.
Thanks, babe.
In using this approach, you will not be aggressive, controlling, or passive, and this is likely to minimize the chances of harm to the other person and damage to the relationship. Conflict can be like withdrawals on a relationship. If there is nothing in the relationship account, it can quickly go into deficit and become bankrupt. Making regular deposits into your relationship account will mean when withdrawals do come, your relationship is more likely to cope and manage. A strategy to strengthen important relationships is firstly, don't neglect it. Remember, if you feed it, it will grow and live, and if you starve it, it will become weak and will eventually die. Giving your partner both quality attention and time will ensure that you don't neglect your relationship. By managing conflict in a proactive and safe way, you are protecting your relationship from potential damage and harm. And by investing both time and positive input, you are nurturing it, which produces a great environment for it to flourish and go the distance. Now would be a good time to reflect on the strategies mentioned to improve important relationships and using the Lifestyle Balance worksheet. Reflect and record anything in your life currently that you think is not helping the quality of your important relationships, and what strategies mentioned you would consider worth trying. So when considering important relationships, this is how you could use the Lifestyle Balance worksheet. An example of how things could not be working or helping could be the relationship may have too much unresolved conflict. It also may be lacking quality time and attention. Some examples of things that could help could be to use conflict management strategies and resolve some of the unresolved conflict. Another thing that may help could be to dedicate quality time and attention to the relationship. So that's just an example of how it could be used. So So now you can write in what is relevant to you and your situation. It would also be a really good time to turn the page over and look at the wellbeing plan and consider planning time to nurture and strengthen your important relationships. For example, you could plan in some date nights and you could actually write in the plan what time, what day and what you would do. In terms of the wellbeing plan, an example of how this might look for important relationships is a person could decide to invest half an hour a week and read and learn about conflict management strategies, which for this example could be, say, on a Monday evening between 8 and 8:30. They may also plan in some special quality time and attention for their relationship, which they may schedule for, say, Friday and Saturday evenings between 6 and 11 p.m. So that's just an example of how you could use the wellbeing plan for important relationships. So now you can write in what is relevant to you and your important relationships. I hope this section has helped you to reflect and to make changes to improve important relationships in your life. I know as you make time, manage conflict, and provide positive input into your relationships that they will improve, and with it, so will your mood and quality of life. So that is the last of the foundational strategies and brings us to the end of section 2. I'm sure as you make changes and develop these foundational strategies in your life that you will feel an improvement in your mood. I look forward to seeing you soon in section 3. Now, if you feel you need more than this program right now, you can call one of the numbers on the screen for someone to talk to.